In the last class of social issue, I discussed what is social justice, what is protective discrimination. In context of protective discrimination, I also discussed the root of protective discrimination, what was the objective of protective discrimination, and how the root of protective discrimination is rooted in the colonial policy of divide and rule. And apart from this, I also discussed what was the objective of protective discrimination. As I told you, the fact that the objective of protective discrimination was to promote social justice, extend a helping hand to the people of our society standing at the marginalized position, and how to bring them from margin to mainstream. That was the objective of protective discrimination. And in the Pune Pact of 1932, the root of protective discrimination was rooted, and formally it was ratified in the Government of India Act 1935. Apart from that, today I will be discussing the fact that the SC and ST reservation, its foundation was laid in 1935, that is Government of India Act 1935. But in post-independent India, the reservation for OBC, that also came into operation or effective. And in this context, I am telling you the fact that UPSC has asked a question. The question is, protective discrimination not only protects but also discriminates. Protective discrimination not only protects but also discriminates. How do you justify it? I'm writing the question. Protective discrimination not only protects not only protects but also discriminate, but also discriminates. Justify. I'll be discussing the answer of this question. Before discussing the answer of this question, even it is, I do feel, is very much relevant to tell you the reservation policy for OBC. Reservation policy for OBC, that our country attained independence on 15th August 1947, and hence British colonialism was ended, independence was done to our country. Henceforward, we became the maker of our own destiny. And in 1950, the Constitution of India came into operation. While the Constitution of India came into operation, the protective discrimination policy based on reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, that also came into effective. Originally, the reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, it was only for 10 years, that is from 1950 to 1960. But subsequently, with the passage of time, it has been extended to 10 years at the lapse of every 10 years. So in this way, SC/ST reservation came into operation in 1950, and in every 10 year it has been extended to further 10 year, and in this way this is 2016. So last 66 years, obviously protective discrimination policy, that is the SC/ST reservation in our country, is in operation. Then what happened in post independence India, particularly the OBC reservation came into existence. It is 1953 that a commission was appointed to see the backwardness of other backward caste people. So, at that point of time, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the prime minister of the country. So, in 1953, the first backward caste commission, other backward caste commission, that was appointed and chaired or headed by a person. The name of the person is Kalelkar Commission, Kaka Saheb Kalelkar Commission, 1953. First, other backward caste, OBC, other backward caste commission was appointed. Under article, this came into existence under article 340 of Indian Constitution. And this first OBC commission was headed by a person, his name is Kaka Saheb Kalelkar. Kaka Saheb Kalelkar. So, named after Kaka Saheb Kalelkar, the commission is called Kalelkar Commission. And this Kalelkar Commission, it submitted its report. In 1955. 1955 report was submitted. At that point of time, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the prime minister of the country. Kaka Saheb Kalelkar recommended that except scheduled caste people, there are also certain other backward caste people for whom there should be reservation. So who are other backward caste people? OBC, its full form is other backward caste or other backward class also. So who are that other backward caste, and how other backward caste are different from scheduled caste people? As I have discussed earlier, scheduled caste people, they are standing at the bottom of Hindu society, Indian society. And these scheduled caste people, they were the victims of social isolation, they are the victims of social exclusion, they are the victims of untouchability. So economically they were backward, religiously they were not allowed also to enter into temple and other religious places. Socially, they were also not allowed to be engaged in gainful employment, which was meant for high caste people. So in this way, scheduled caste people are a group of people who are suffering from various social, political, economic, and religious disabilities, which are enforced upon them by the high caste people. So scheduled caste people, they are at the bottom of our society, and different names have been given for them. For example, Gandhiji referred to them as Harijan. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar referred to them as depressed castes. And in traditional society, they were called Sudras, Chandalas, Panchamas, Antyadas. So these scheduled caste people in traditional Indian society, they were called Sudras, Panchamas, Chandalas, Antyajas, Antyajas, and Constitution of India regard them as scheduled caste. Scheduled caste. Gandhiji referred to them as Harijan, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar regarded them as depressed caste, and also Dalit. These are the different names of scheduled caste people in our country. So obviously, for this scheduled caste people, SC reservation is applicable. But how SCs are different from OBCs? SCs, majority of them are the victims of untouchability, and their social, economic, political position is at the lowest. Apart from this scheduled caste, there are a group of other people belonging to lower caste who are not the victims of untouchability, and at the same time, they are also constituting the lower groups of society, caste of the society. In different spheres of social life, they were lagging behind the topmost caste people of the country. So in this way, I am telling you, at the top of Indian society, at the highest caste, at the bottom are scheduled caste, in between the top and bottom, is the other backward caste. So in this way, there is a difference. That scheduled caste are the victims of untouchability, but other backward caste, they are not the victims of social exclusion or untouchability. But other backward castes are also standing economically, educationally, politically lower than the highest caste. So this group of people, they are called other backward caste. So as per Article 340 of Indian Constitution, while Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister of country, obviously the first OBC commission, other backward caste commission, was appointed and chaired by a person. His name is Kaka Saheb Kalelkar, and the report was submitted by Kalelkar Commission in 1955. There, Kaka Saheb Kalelkar also recommended for reservation of seats for OBC. But Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was a modernist. He did not like the report submitted by Kaka Saheb Kalelkar because their emphasis was given upon the caste origin, caste orientation in the matter of reservation for OBC. That's the reason Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru did not accept. So OBC reservation could not come into operation. Then what happened? 1975, in our country, national emergency was declared by Mrs. Indira Gandhi on the basis of internal disturbance. And at the initial stage of declaration of emergency, obviously Mrs. Gandhi was having wide support base, but subsequently, because of this reservation, also she became highly unpopular. And at that point of time, politics in India experienced identity politics. Politics experienced casteization. Casteization means caste. Some political parties, they tried to mobilize political consciousness among the people in the line of caste. So at that point of time, the opposition party, that is the Janata Party, it basically tried to mobilize the voters in the name of caste. So, but after emergency in 77, emergency came into an end. While emergency came into end, at that point of time, Janata Party declared that if it comes to power, it will appoint the second backward caste commission, and it would see that reservation would be implemented for other backward caste. This is Janata Party which gave a declaration on the eve of election. And SC reservation, ST reservation came into existence in 1950. At that point of time, Congress, Indian National Congress was in power. So scheduled caste people and scheduled tribe people, they got highly inclined towards the Congress party. In this way, Congress won the confidence of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. In that context, the opposition party, that is Janata Party, was searching for a political base, and Janata Party, keeping in mind how to win the confidence of other people belonging to different caste, lower caste, it made the provision, or it declared also in its election manifesto that if it is coming to power, it would basically appoint the second backward caste commission. So obviously, in 1977, while election was conducted, there first time in the central legislature, that is in central parliament, and in Lok Sabha particularly, the opposition party, that is the Janata Dal or Janata Party, it formed the government, and this was basically a united front government, or it's basically a coalition government. And as soon as Janata Party, Janata Dal formed the government, what happened? Obviously, it appointed the second backward caste commission, other backward caste commission, headed by a person. His name is B.P. Mandal. Named after B.P. Mandal, the commission is called Mandal Commission. So, second backward caste commission, other backward caste commission, was appointed in 1978, that is second other backward caste commission, headed by B.P. Mandal. Named after B.P. Mandal, the commission is called also Mandal Commission. B.P. Mandal Commission was appointed with the objective of observing and evaluating the backwardness of other backward caste people, those who could not be covered under scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. So only for them, the provision of reservation will be made. That was the primary concern of second other backward caste commission, headed by B.P. Mandal. Named after him, the commission is also called B.P. Mandal Commission, or simply Mandal Commission. The sub-commission submitted its report in 1980. The commission submitted its report in 1980. A report was submitted. And this commission basically suggested the government of the day to consider three important areas, that is social, economic and educational aspect of the other backward caste who did not cover under scheduled caste and scheduled caste reservation, just to give them reservation. But this is 1980, while the commission submitted its report. By that time, the government headed by non-Congress party, that is Janata Dal, has been thrown out of the power. So again, a Congress party, again the Congress party formed the government. So though Mandal Commission made a recommendation that there should be reservation for OBC, because subsequently Congress party came, Congress party did not put the recommendation of, but Janata Party led government and its commission, that is B.P. Mandal Commission, into implementation. In this way, for 10 years, without taking any decision on the implementation of Mandal Commission's report, simply the report was put there and no step or decision was taken in this matter. Then in 1990, what happened? Again, there was a coalition government in the center where the non-Congress parties, they played important role. And in 1990, at that point of time, Mr. V.P. Singh was the Prime Minister of country. So one day, Mr. V.P. Singh took a decision of implementing Mandal Commission's report. This is 1990. report was submitted in 80. For 1 decade, 10 years, no step was taken. But VP Singh declared the implementation of the report. And what happened? Some public spirited people in our country, they challenged the constitutionality of Mandal Commission's report. So finally, Supreme Court gave a decision by observing the constitutionality, and Supreme Court declared that, Honorable Supreme Court declared that there is nothing which is unconstitutional in Mandal Commission's report. Mandal Commission has submitted the report that there should be 27% reservation for OBC, and Supreme Court also agreed that there is nothing which is unconstitutional or incongruent with the provision of Constitution. So there should be reservation for OBC. But Supreme Court suggested that the creamy layers of OBC, the creamy layer of OBC should be excluded from getting reservation. The creamy layer of OBC should be excluded. This is Supreme Court's judgment with respect to implementation of Mandal Commission report. And obviously, at that point of time, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of the country. Supreme Court gave this judgment that, okay, Mandal Commission report should be implemented, provided creamy layer would be excluded. And obviously, from 1993 onward, OBC reservation also came into existence. That is, 27% of the seats will be reserved for the OBC. Earlier, there was the provision of scheduled caste reservation at the rate of 15%, scheduled tribe reservation at the rate of 7.5%. And as per the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, in case of Mandal Commission's report, there is a reservation of seats for OBC at the rate of 27%. So in this way, 7.5 for ST, 15% for SC, that is 22.5% plus 27%, that is 49.5% reservation would be there. But Honorable Supreme Court gave the responsibility to the government of the day in matter of deciding the creamy layer. In matter of deciding the creamy layer. And creamy layer is based upon different factors that I'll be discussing after some time. So first I'm telling you that Mandal Commission has considered 3 important indicators in the matter of deciding the backwardness of OBC people, other backward caste. There are 3 important indicators. 3 indicators of backwardness of OBC. What are the 3 indicators suggested by Mandal Commission? First is social indicator. Second is educational indicator. Third is economic indicator. These are the 3 indicators. Social indicator has 4 criteria. Criterion is singular, criteria is plural. Educational indicator has 3 criteria. And economic indicator has 4 criteria. So social indicator has 4 criteria. Each criteria of social indicator is having 3 points. Each criteria is 3 points. So in this way, you see criteria are there. Each criterion is having 3 points. So 3 multiplied by 4, that is 4 into 3, 12 points is given to social indicator. Then I am telling you, educational indicator is having 3 criteria, and every criterion of educational indicator is having 2 points. So 3 multiplied by 2, 3 multiplied by 2, because 3 criteria are there and each criterion is having 2 points. So in this way, 3 multiplied by 2, that is 6 points, is given to educational indicator. Economic indicator has 4 criteria and each criterion is having 1 point. So 4 multiplied by 1, that is 4 points is given. 4 points is given to economic indicator. I'm repeating it again. As per Mandal Commission's report, three indicators would be considered in matter of deciding or determining the backwardness of particular caste. So first indicator is social indicator, it has 12 points. Second indicator is educational indicator, it has 6 points. Third is economic indicator, it has 4 points. So in this way, total weightage is 12 plus 6 plus 4. That is 18 plus 4, 22 points. Total weightage of OBC backwardness is 22 points. As per Mandal Commission's report, any caste which is securing 50% of the total weightage, 50% of total weightage, that is 50% of 22 points, that is equal to 11 points. So any caste which is securing 11 point will be regarded as OBC. 11 point or more, but not less than 11. This is Mandal Commission's report. And apart from that, but Supreme Court gave the responsibility to the government of the day in matter of deciding creamy layer of OBC, so that creamy layer would be excluded from reservation. That means the caste wise it is coming in OBC list, but it will not avail the facilities of OBC. So what are the factors of deciding that creamy layer? First factor is that particularly that economic factor means annual income. At that point of time, the government in 1993 decided that a person who is getting an income more than 1 lakh, but included in OBC, but as his income is more than 1 lakh, it will be the creamy layer. Right now, the income, which is the economic factor, has been changed because it is subjected to change. At present, obviously, the people, those who are getting annual income equal to or more than 6 lakhs, they will be the creamy layer. Though the caste wise they are in OBC, they are not entitled to avail the facilities of OBC for their children. And considering all these factors, I am just telling you the creamy layer. First is economic income. At present, it is 6 lakhs. Second important indicator of creamy layer is that a person who is holding a constitutional position, for example, somebody is prime governor, somebody is prime minister, somebody is district judge, somebody is a president. So if that person caste wise is coming in OBC, but because he is holding a constitutional position, his children will be debarred to avail the facilities of OBC. Next important feature is if either of the parents of its person is having class 1 ranked official position in the central government or in the state government. So all the people, those who are having class 1 position, either in the state government or central government, though caste-wise they are in OBC, but they are not entitled to avail the facilities of OBC. Next is, if both the parents, that is father and mother, both of them are having class 2 position also in the central government or state government, though caste-wise they are in OBC, but their children will not be able to avail the facilities of OBC. Next is, if either or both of the parents are having a position which is at the rank of a colonel in Indian Army or its equivalent ranks in Air Force and Navy. So if parents are having this type of position and the caste-wise they are in OBC, but their children are not entitled to avail the facilities of OBC. Next one is, if a family is having an agricultural land, which is 85% of the land ceiling limits, 85% of land ceiling amount. What is that? Ceiling means the maximum size of agricultural land that a person can possess. You know, Land Reform Act was made, land reformation. Earlier, Jamindari system was there, Mahalwari system was there, Rayotwari system was there. These people were having hundreds and hundreds of acres of land. While land ceiling measure was made, obviously all these intermediaries like Jamindari, Mahalwari, Rawatwari system was abolished. Apart from that, what is the maximum size of land that a person can possess? Government has also taken decision. Agricultural land comes under the state list 2 of constitution. So obviously from state to state, the maximum size of land that a person is supposed to have, that has been also varied. But any person who is possessing land above the ceiling amount, ceiling means the maximum amount. If somebody is possessing land above the ceiling limit, obviously government will take the balance amount of land and distribute it among the poverty-stricken people. In this way, land ceiling has been fixed. And suppose I am telling you, in a state, the maximum size of agricultural land that a person can possess is suppose 40 acres. Even within the state also ceiling varies, because in the state all agricultural lands are not equally but fertile. In the same state, irrigational facilities are not available to all the lands. That's the reason in the highly irrigated regions where the land is having higher fertility, there the ceiling amount is less, and the less irrigated lands in the region which are less fertile, there the ceiling limit would be more. So, and for sake of example, I'm telling you, suppose in a region the ceiling amount is 40 acres. So in that case, if the family is possessing 85% of 40 acres, 85% of 40 acres or above it, he will not be entitled to OBC reservation, though caste-wise he is included in OBC. So all these factors have been considered in the matter of deciding and determining the creamy layer. So in this way, in matter of OBC reservation, all people, those who are caste-wise belonging to OBC, all of them may not avail the facilities of OBC because creamy layer concept is there. But this creamy layer concept is not in scheduled caste and scheduled tribe reservation. This is all about the provision of Mandal Commission with respect to OBC reservation. And I told you, while Mr. VP Singh was in power, the Prime Minister of the country, he declared the implementation of OBC reservation, but subsequently it was challenged in the Honorable Supreme Court, and Honorable Supreme Court gave a judgment where it was said that the creamy layer of OBC would be excluded from OBC reservation, but there is no unconstitutionality in the matter of OBC reservation. And Supreme Court said that reservations should be less than 50%. And obviously, right now we are having SC reservation, I told you, at the rate of 15%, ST reservation at 7.5%, OBC reservation at the rate of 27%. It is if all these reserve quotas are combined together, it would become less than 50% because it is 49.5%. And from 1993, the OBC reservation with respect to reservation in government sector that came into operation. Though reservation for OBC student in the educational institution that came into operation not in the same year, that is 1993, but in the year subsequently, that is in 2007 and 2008. This is all about the story of SC, ST and OBC reservation. Right now, come back to the question that I gave you. UPSC has once asked the question, protective discrimination not only protects but also discriminates. Not only protects but also discriminate. Here you have to write how protective. Answer would be like this: how protective, what is protective discrimination? Second framework, just I am giving you the framework of the answer. First point in the framework of answer would be what is protective discrimination. Second point, how does protective discrimination protect the interest of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC? Then the third point, how protective discrimination also discriminates against some people. These are the three different points and areas or dimensions that should be considered by you while you are writing the answer of this question. So come to first point. First point you have to write, yes, protective discrimination, or it is called affirmative action. It was a mechanism of promoting social justice and a protective crime, because Indian society is a caste-ridden society. Since time immemorial, some people, they were standing at a higher position. They were the privileged people, particularly the people of higher and highest caste. And at the bottom of the society were standing the scheduled caste people, OBC people, and also tribal people. They are very backward and they are geographically isolated from Hindu society and Indian society. So while constitution was drafted, it was thought that how to bring this scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC people from their marginalized status to the mainstream of social life. Because I have discussed it earlier, treating two unequal people on par or at par is a principle of inequality. It's not a principle of equality. Treating two equal person equally is called equality, but treating two unequal person equally is inequality. Because our society was a caste-ridden society, and since time immemorial, the scheduled caste people were exploited. Obviously, their position was lower compared to higher and highest caste people. So in this way, government wanted to extend a helping hand to the scheduled caste people, scheduled tribe people, to the OBC people in matter of promoting social justice. This is called protective discrimination. Objective of protective discrimination is to bring the depressed caste, the other backward caste, the tribal people from their marginalized position to the mainstream position. Then how protective discrimination protects? Yes, it protects. Reason is that I already explained. In traditional Indian society, untouchability was practiced and scheduled caste people were the victim of untouchability. OBC people were not the victim of untouchability, but economically, politically, socially, they are at a lower position than the higher and highest caste, though they were standing above the depressed or scheduled caste. By availing the facilities of reservation, I can say some scheduled caste people, they have occupied the topmost position of our country. Scheduled tribe people, because of their availing the facility of reservation, they have been well represented. They have been represented in our civil services and different other spheres of social life. So as policy of reservation has helped the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC, we say it is protecting their interest. But how it not only protects but also discriminates. Yes, the policy of reservation based upon caste system, which is also called protective discrimination, that has also made a discrimination. How? It has made a discrimination against poverty. First point, it has made a discrimination against poverty. How it has made a discrimination against poverty? It has made a discrimination against poverty. First point, it has made a discrimination against poverty. For example, poor people are there in reserved categories and unreserved categories also. But protective discrimination can help only the reserved categories people, whether they are poor or non-poor, that doesn't matter. Though most of the people of reserved category, they are also poor. But even some rich people of reserved category, they can also avail the facilities of reservation. Because in case of SC and ST reservation, there is no concept like creamy layer. At the same time, you think there is a person who is poverty stricken person belonging to unreserved category, he will not avail the facilities of reservation, then what would be his feeling? He would think that I have been born in unreserved category accidentally because I did not take a decision consciously and cohesively, deliberately to be born in a higher caste. Accidentally, I have been born in higher caste, and at the same time, I am poor. But because accidentally I have been born in higher caste, that is the whole and sole reason for which I would be excluded from but reservation. So, but I am poverty striking. So, in this way, while this aspect is considered, we can say that protective discrimination is discriminating against poverty. Second point, maximum benefit of SC and ST reservation has been taken by a few people belonging to that SC and ST reservation, SC and ST categories. But, and by availing the facilities of reservation, some people of SC and ST categories, they have reached at the topmost position of society. This group of people, they are called the elite section of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Elite section, by availing the facilities of reservation, some scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people, they have emerged as elite section of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Elite people are a group of people, those who are having power, money, and influence in the society. So by availing this facility, some people, not all people, some people in reserved categories, they have reached at the topmost position. And at the same time, some other people in that SC, ST categories and right now in OBC category, they have also not availed the facilities of reservation. Theoretically, it's available to them, but practically they have not availed. In this way, a division has been created within the reserved category, a division or hierarchy. Hierarchy means gradation of inequality, gradation of inequality. Hierarchy has been created within the reserved group. So within the reserved group, right now you find there is a gradation of inequality because some people by availing the facilities of reservation have been highly placed. They are called the elite section. Rest of the people in the reserved categories, they are the common people. So while a poor person of a reserved category, he sees that okay, he is not able to avail the facilities of reservation, though theoretically it has been granted because most of the he has to compete with the elite section within the unreserved category. Obviously, he also feels very much frustrated. In this way, it is creating a division within the reserved categories. Apart from that, what is happening? For example, I'm telling you a few days before, one report was published in different national newspapers with respect to the effectivity or effectiveness of SC reservation. For example, SC, that is scheduled caste, is a homogeneous concept. But this is a homogeneous concept which is applied for a heterogeneous group of people. Means within SC come large number of castes. These castes, all of these castes are not same. So this is heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means dissimilar. So SC is a homogeneous concept applied for a heterogeneous group of people. And by availing the facilities of reservation, what is happening? Obviously, some members of reserved caste or scheduled caste, they have occupied topmost position, and the rest of the members of scheduled caste, they are at bottom. And I'm telling you, the report published in this connection was like that. The researcher had conducted a study with reference to Uttar Pradesh society. You know, once upon a time, in Uttar Pradesh, there was a chief minister belonging to Dalit caste. She is none other than Miss Mayabati. She is a leader who came from the bottommost position of the society. With due respect to her, I can say how, because of her emergence as a leader in scheduled caste, it has made some scheduled caste people highly privileged. That was the finding of the report. For example, in Uttar Pradesh, there are different groups of people belonging to scheduled caste. First is the caste to which Mrs. Mayabati belonged is the Chamar caste. Chamar. Mayabati belonged to scheduled caste, but that caste is Chamar. And there is also another extremely poverty-stricken scheduled caste in Uttar Pradesh. It is Cobbler. Cobbler caste. Cobbler caste means people of this caste are engaged in stitching the shoes. That caste is Cobbler caste. So Chamar caste got a very great leader, Miss Mayabati. Because this caste got a great leadership, this caste gradually started progressing. Progressing. Its status started upgrading. So in today's context in Uttar Pradesh, Chamars have been well represented in administration, in judiciary, in matter of leadership, in civil service. On the other hand, Cobbler caste, which is also a scheduled caste, right now it is also standing at the bottom. Its representation in different areas of social life is extremely less. Extremely less. So in this way, if a Cobbler caste person would see reservation, he would see that a maximum benefit of reservation has been taken by the Chamar caste, not by me, or not by my caste. So in this way, there will come a feeling of deprivation, marginalization that has been created because of the protective discrimination policy. Apart from that, the other negative aspect of protective discrimination is that protective discrimination is promoting a feeling of casteism in our country because reservation policy is based upon caste system. Next thing is that because of the prevalence and practice of protective discrimination based upon caste system, what is happening these days? Caste journals are published, caste meetings are organized, and what is happening that caste associations are formed, caste-based hostels and coaching centers are running. So this is the negative aspect of protective discrimination. So in one way, we are thinking to eradicate casteism and eradicate caste system, but as the very policy of reservation is based upon caste, that's the reason it's not possible to eradicate caste system. That's the reason in 21st century India, we do see, but caste associations are formed, caste journals are published, caste meetings are organized, and during the time of election, people, leaders, they are also mobilizing the people in the name of caste. So this is the negative aspect. So in this way, I'm telling you, question was protective discrimination not only protects, but also discriminate. That means you have to write both positive and negative aspect of protective discrimination. I think with this much discussion, you would be able to evaluate the positive aspect, how protective discrimination protects, and you would be able to evaluate the negative aspect, that is how protective discrimination discriminates against poverty-stricken people, against the marginalized section within the reserved categories that also I discussed. Then I'm discussing another question they may ask as a topic of essay paper, or they may ask it in in interview, or even in social issues. Question is, what is protective discrimination? What is protective discrimination? Question mark. Do you think the present policy of reservation based on caste system is promoting social justice? What is protective discrimination? Do you think the present reservation policy based upon caste system is promoting social justice? You know, this is a debatable topic. All the people in our country would not come to a consensus position with respect to the policy of reservation. Just you think the perspective, the view, the analysis of a person belonged to unreserved category. So an unreserved category person would say policy of reservation is not promoting social justice. Rather, it is promoting social injustice. But at the same time, a person belonging to reserved categories like SC, ST, and OBC, who by availing the facilities of reservation substantially has been placed in higher position of society, he would say that yes, the policy of reservation is promoting social justice. So in this way, this is a highly debatable topic. You are not supposed to take extend your support only to one perspective. You are supposed to put a neutral approach in this context. So in this case, if the question is asked, first you have to write what is social justice that I have discussed earlier. Then you have to write in a very balanced way the introduction. Yes, the above question, that is caste-based reservation promoting social justice? Yes. The above question is a project of debate, is a matter of debate, is a highly debatable topic in India. There is one group of people who are of the opinion that yes, reservation policy is promoting social justice. There is another group of people in our country who adopt the view that reservation policy is not promoting social justice, rather it is promoting social injustice. Then let us discuss the point of view of both the groups of people, supporters as well as opponent of the policy of reservation. Supporters of the policy of reservation means those who extend support to SC, ST, and OBC reservation. They are of the opinion that yes, reservation policy is promoting social justice. How? Because reservation promotes the interest of SC, ST, and OBC people, those who were earlier marginalized, those who were least or less represented in our society, by bringing them into the mainstream of social life. So in this way, through caste-based reservation, social justice is promoted. Second point of argument, yes, reservation policy based upon caste system, that is upgrading and uplifting the backward castes in our country. Third point of argument that people, this is basically a counter argument, because some people say that reservation policy is completely casteist, but a supporter of reservation, they do say, yes, in case of SC and ST reservation, casteist policy, it is, no doubt, but in case of OBC reservation, we cannot say it is a casteist policy, because caste is not the whole indicator, rather it's a part of the different indicators, because there are three indicators in case of OBC reservation that I discussed with respect to Mandal Commission. First is social indicator, it is related with caste, means in which where is standing the caste socially, that is where is standing the group of people socially, that is related to caste. But I told you educational indicator is related with how many graduates are there from this caste, how many postgraduates are from this caste, how many matriculates are from this caste, how many percentage of people are under matriculate in this caste, how many people are having only primary education in this caste. It is not related with caste wholly. And also economic indicator is related with the financial position. So in this way, OBC reservation is not solely casteist. Next point of argument in favor of caste-based reservation is that some people they do claim that okay, there is a person belonging to higher caste, for example Brahmin, who is a poverty stricken person, that is poor, but accidentally he has been born in Brahmin category or higher caste. That's the reason he is not entitled to avail the facilities of reservation. Some people they claim like this, argue like this, but I do say their argument is not completely justified. For example, consider two poor people of two different castes, that is reserved and unreserved category. For example, there is a Brahmin who is poor, there is a Dalit who is also poor. But the Brahmin is having a very good process of socialization, because in traditional Indian society, he was having access to the scriptures of his religion. He was having a tradition of education and learning. So culturally, a Brahmin is at a higher position. But culturally, a Dalit is at a lower position culturally. Most of the Dalits, their parents are uneducated, mothers are particularly uneducated, and in matter of socialization, that is learning the values of the society, mother plays an important role in matter of helping the child. Because while the mother is making the child to sleep, mother is telling different stories related to her country to the child, so that the child's mindset get advanced. But as in case of scheduled caste people, scheduled tribal people, majority of the mothers were uneducated and illiterate. So while they made the child to sleep, they could not tell different stories related to their society because they were uneducated. In this way, what happened? Since childhood, the child of a poverty stricken, uneducated scheduled caste, scheduled tribe group experience cultural marginalization. The concept is cultural marginalization. Means because mother and father are not educated, they are not helping a great in matter of promoting the cultural values, transmitting the cultural values into the mindset of the child. So this is cultural marginalization of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people. If a Brahmin or a person of higher caste is there, yes, he is a poverty-stricken person. So he's uh, economic marginalization he is having. But cultural marginalization, he is not a victim of that cultural marginalization, because he's from an educated family, or from a family which is having good tradition, which is basically having educated mother. So in this way, there is a Brahmin, there is a Dalit, both of them are poor, but the poverty, I'm telling you, Brahmins may be poor, but they are in traditional society, they were respected. A Dalit may be poor or may be rich also, but he is looked down upon in our society. In this way, I'm telling you, just equating, comparing and equating the economic marginalization of a person of higher caste, that is the Brahmin, you can say, is unethical with the cultural marginalization of a Dalit. Cultural marginalization, I explained, mother is uneducated, parents are illiterate. So, economic marginalization, that is poverty, of a person of higher caste should not and must not be compared and equated with the cultural marginalization of a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people. Viewed in this angle, protective discrimination policy was made how to bring these traditionally disprivileged SC, ST people from marginalized position, cultural marginalized position to the mainstream of social life. Viewed in this angle, the policy of reservation is also justified. Apart from that, the next point of argument in favor of protective discrimination or SC, ST and OBC reservation is that, you know, people, those who criticize the caste-based reservation, they do say that through caste-based reservation, compromise is made with the talent, because there is a person of unreserved category, there is a student of unreserved category, and he passed matriculation with certain higher percentage of mark, that is 90%, but he is not able to get a seat in the prestigious college of his locality. On the other hand, there is a student of scheduled caste or scheduled tribe category who passed the matriculation just with 55% or 60% mark. He will be able to avail the facilities of getting a seats in the prestigious college of the locality. In this way, a compromise is made. A student of higher caste, in spite of scoring higher mark, will not get a seat. On the other hand, a student of reserved category, by scoring less percentage of mark, will be able to get the seat. So in this way, compromise is made. They make people, those who speak against reservation, they do speak like this. But I am telling you, this argument is not also valid in every context. For example, 70, 80 years ago, the Britishers were ruling our country at that point of time, but Indians were not having good representation in civil service that was introduced by the Britishers. At that point of time, our freedom fighters, they are putting a demand that Indian civil service must be Indianized, means Indians should have good representation in Indian civil service. And what argument they were putting? They were putting the argument that India is for Indians. So that's the reason Indians must have representation in Indian civil service. On the other hand, the Britishers were making the counter argument. What is that? Indians are having less efficiency in matter of administration. That's the reason, let European be the administrator or Britishers be the administrator. But the Indians were, the freedom fighters of India, they were making a demand that this efficiency, higher efficiency, depends upon higher exposure of the person. Britishers are having higher exposure because they are from Britain. They have studied in very good colleges and universities. That's the reason, because of their higher exposure, their efficiency has been increased. Indians have not got a higher exposure, because of it, their efficiency level is lower. And only by higher exposure to Indians, their efficiency level will be increased. So at that point of time, we are making an argument like this. But these days, some of our people, they are taking a U-turn from the previous stand of the freedom fighters, that is 180 degree from the previous stand adopted by the freedom fighters, because right now they are saying, no, because of the SC, ST, OBC reservation, the quality of education is getting degraded, the efficiency of administration is reducing. So in matter of so no compromise should be made on talent, should be made on merit. So at that point of time, we were speaking in one way that, okay, efficiency should not be a factor. India is for Indians. That's the reason Indians will have good representation in Indian civil service. But these days we are speaking, no, talent should be the hallmark in matter of placement. So why is not India belong to scheduled caste? Are not scheduled tribe people belong to Indian society? Are not OBC people belong to society, Indian society? So scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, OBC, they are having less representation compared to higher caste people in our country. So the totalistic development of a country is possible. The inclusive growth of a country is possible while the people of different castes and communities, they are having good representation in different spheres of social life. Viewed in this angle, also the policy of reservation is very much justified. So I will be telling you the fact. This is only one side of the coin, just like a coin has two sides. Exactly in the same way, any debate has two sides. So how policy of reservation is promoting social justice, while I wanted to speak in favor of it, I showed you this perspective. But right now, I'm going to also the other side. Now I can say the fact that SC reservation, ST reservation, OBC reservation is not promoting social justice, rather it is promoting social injustice. How? Come to first point. You know, the constitution of India, you know, the fact that the Constitution of India as well as the government of India is promoting, is proclaiming to establish a casteless society. Government of India as well as Constitution of India proclaim for establishment of a casteless society. But on the other hand, the very policy of reservation itself is based on caste system. So how in future a casteless society will be evolved as long as the very policy of reservation itself is based on caste? Viewed in this angle, the policy of reservation is unjustified. Second point, it is erroneous to think that all the people of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and scheduled tribe are poor, and all the people of a higher caste, like Brahmins and Kshatriyas, they are rich. There is a possibility that people of higher caste may be poor. There is a possibility that people of lowest caste and tribe may also be rich. So, protective discrimination, caste-based, tribal identity-based reservation can help only a poverty-stricken person of lower caste, but it cannot help a poverty-stricken person of the higher caste. Viewed in this angle, the policy of reservation is unjustified. Apart from that, what is happening? Originally, the reservation was only for 10 years, that is from 1950 to 60, but at the expiry of every 10 years, it has been extended to further 10 years. In this way, it was a never-ending project in India. And these days, what is happening? Obviously, politicians, they are mobilizing the voters in the name of caste. And because of it, India is experiencing casteization of politics because of reservation. Competitive politics is promoted in our country. Vote bank politics is promoted in our country because of the politics of reservation. It is also unjustified. Then I can say another point against the policy of reservation, caste-based reservation. What is that? For example, just I was speaking before, while I was adopting a pro-reservation approach. Pro means favorable, in favor of reservation I was speaking, that some people, those who claim that it is the scheduled caste people, scheduled tribe people, those who have been traditionally exploited by the members of higher caste. As they have been traditionally exploited by the members of higher caste, their position is lower, keeping in mind how to bring them from margin to mainstream, giving reservation for them is justified. People, those who are having pro-reservation approach, they speak like this. But I am telling you, this argument is also not correct always. For example, I can say this is the ancestors of the high caste people of present generation, those who exploited and oppressed the ancestors of the people of the lower caste of present generation. And you know, India is a modern state. A modern state is regulated by a modern law. A modern law promotes the idea that a person should be punished or penalized if the person himself had committed a crime. No modern law promotes the idea that a person should be punished for the crime that was not committed by him, that was committed by his ancestors. For example, come back to this discussion. I am telling you, some people, those who claim that it is the people of a higher caste who have exploited the people of lower caste in traditional society, that's the reason their position is marginalized, that is the lower caste position is marginalized with an objective of helping them to come out of their marginalized position to the mainstream position, giving policy reservation on the basis of caste is justified. But I am telling you, it is not the present generation of high caste people who exploited the present generation of low caste people. Rather, it is the ancestor of a present generation of higher caste who exploited the ancestor of the present generation of low caste. Are you getting my point? So it's their ancestor who had committed a crime. So why the present generation of high caste people will be punished for the crime that was committed by their ancestors? Viewed in this angle also, the policy of reservation is unjustified. Apart from that, I am also showing you another important point against the policy of reservation. That is, you just consider the population profile of our country. As per the latest census of, related to population, I can say in India, in India, SC people, scheduled caste people, their percentage is around figure I am telling you 16% of the total population. ST people, their percentage is 8% of the total population. OBC people, their percentage is 52% of the total population. Apart from this OBC, there is also another category of people that is called OEBC, other educationally backward and or economically backward caste. That while the Honorable Supreme Court gave the judgment in matter of implementing OBC reservation, at that point of time, the government headed by Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao had recommended before the judgment came that there is 12% of people in India, those who are coming within the purview of OEBC. So their percentage is around 12% of the total population. So all these people are backward. You add 16 with 8, that will give you 24. Add 24 with 52, that would give you 76%. 76 plus add you 12, that would give you 88%. 16% plus 8, 22 plus 52, 24 plus 52, that is 76 plus 12, 88%. Apart from that, SC reservation is not applicable to Muslim and Christians of our country. But practically, Christians, within Christianity, within Islam also, scheduled caste people are there. How? I'm telling you, theoretically, Islam and Christianity don't believe in caste system, particularly untouchability. But what happened in historic period, some people belonging to scheduled caste of Hinduism, they also converted into Islam and Christianity, along with the Hindu people of higher caste. So while two different group of people from two different caste of Hinduism got converted into Islam and Christianity, they also carried the basic feature, that is caste system untouchability of Hindu society into Islamic society. Because of it, though theoretically Islam and Christianity did not believe in caste, but caste became an integral feature of Christianity and Islam in India because of the process of conversion practically. So if you consider, but SC reservation is not applicable to Christians and Muslims. So if you consider the OBC, the scheduled caste people within Islam and Christianity, within Islam, SC, within Muslims and Christians, their percentage is 5% of the total population. So you add 88 with 5, that would give you 93%. So you see, this is not my personal status, but report. I just made a calculation on the basis of the report that has been published by government from time to time. So in this way, I proved that 93% people in our country, they are backward. That means almost all Indians are backward. Out of 100 Indians, 93 Indians are backward. Means entire India lives in backwardness. While entire India lives in backwardness, what is the objective of protective discrimination? Just to help a backward? And if I modify it, but the protective discrimination, its objective is to help a backward against a forward, but in India, almost all are backward. That means the basic goal of protective discrimination, how to help a backward at the cost of another forward, that is failed. Rather, while one backward person's interest is promoted, it is done at the cost of another backward person. This is the point, these are the points against the policy of reservation. So in this way, I told you this is a debatable topic, as every debate has two sides. So the policy of reservation based upon caste system, it is also a matter of debate. The supporter of reservation, they speak the way I told you earlier. The opponent of reservation, they do speak just the way I spoke right now. In this context, UPSC may ask a question in social issue, in essay paper, in interview also. What is your opinion? What is your opinion with respect to make the present policy of reservation based upon caste system more effective and efficient? In this context, UPSC may ask a question to you. What is your view with respect to developing a new model or new paradigm of reservation policy in our country? What would be your personal view? I'm telling you the fact that India is a caste-ridden society, and basically scrapping the policy of reservation, deleting the policy of reservation based upon caste system is not a justified stand, because simply some people, they have born in lower caste. That's the main reason why they are having lowest indicator related to their social life. So no doubt caste should be an important parameter of reservation, but some additional, more things should be added how to make the present policy of reservation. So first of all, we can say caste should become an indicator of reservation, but at the same time, creamy layer concept would be included in the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe group, because there are some people like belonging to scheduled caste. The example I cited, but basically Chamar communities, those who have availed the facilities of reservation reached at the top. At the same time, some other scheduled caste people, they are standing at the bottom. So caste should be an indicator. But apart from this, obviously creamy layer concept should be entered into SC and ST reservation, so that the rich people of the but downtrodden caste, they would be excluded from reservation. Next important point is that basically extend reservation to a specific generation, maybe one generation or two generation, but not for infinite generation. For example, a person by availing the facilities of SC, ST or OBC reservation has reached at a particular governmental position, maybe very, very influential position or maybe subordinated position, that doesn't matter. So a person in our country should get the facilities of reservation to a specific generation, that is one or two generation. Beyond that, it should not be extended. If it is done, then within the reserved categories, people of different families, they will also get a better benefit of reservation. Next point of suggesting better efficiency of the policy of reservation is that in matter of giving reservation, to the unreserved category, particularly, a point should be considered in mind. What is that? In which school the child has been studied. Because some people say, no, economic indicator should be important indicator in matter of deciding reservation. But I am telling you, there is a possibility of manipulating economic indicator, that is class. For example, people, those who are working in government or private sector, that is registered private sector, organized private sector, obviously they are having salary certificate, they cannot conceal their annual income. But people, those who are self-employed, earning very good amount of money, but not paying income tax or paying very less income tax, because they are self-employed, government is not having any, not having any concrete information related to them. If we are thinking that reservation be based on economic criteria like class, there is a possibility of manipulation of this system. So in this case, I am telling you, consider the education or the schooling of the child. You know, these days, parents are highly concerned for the education and study of their parents. If a parent can afford the cost of education in a private school, prestigious private school, in that case, parent, they would go for private school in matter of getting their children enrolled. If a father is not having the affordability of getting his child enrolled in private school, prestigious private school, I'm telling you, in that case, they will enroll the child in the government school. So parents don't think to make a compromise with matter two in context of the education, schooling of the child, but they are not, some of them are also not interested to disclose their income to the government if they are self-employed. In this case, let the parental education, let the schooling of the child be considered in the matter of extending reservation to them. If it is done, in that case, what would happen? Obviously, the present policy of reservation will become more effective. This is all about the protective discrimination policy. And in today's class, I discussed how protective discrimination protects as well as discriminates. I also discussed how the policy of reservation is promoting social justice as well as promoting social injustice. And I also discussed a better model, a new model, how to make the present policy of a caste-based reservation more effective and efficient in our country. This is all about the topics of social issue related to social justice, protective discrimination, and caste-based reservation. So the topic is over. Let us come to the next topic of social issue. So next topic is a topic of very importance, very much international importance, vital international importance. That topic is basically a large number of topics are included in this topic that I will be discussing and writing. That is, in fact, a topic of vital international importance, that is fundamentalism. Fundamentalism, communalism, secularism, then challenges to secularism, challenges to secularism, challenges to secularism, then or challenges to secular credential in India. They may ask a question in essay paper. Challenges to secular credentials in India. Then another topic, is science and religion. And the last topic is problems of religious minorities. Problems of religious minorities in our country. So I'm telling you, already UPSC has asked question from this topic in social issue as well as GS paper 4, that is ethics. In context of social issues, paper 1 GS, they have already asked the question, what is secularism? How Indian model of secularism is different from Western model of secularism. I'm repeating the question again. What is secularism? How Indian approach of secularism is different from Western approach of secularism. In the essay paper, that is which you are supposed to write within 1250 words, that is the weightage is 125 marks. They may ask a question that Science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind. Religion without science is blind. Religion without science is blind, and science without religion is lame. That they may also ask in essay paper, and in short essay of ethics they may ask the question, while science ends, philosophy begins. Philosophy begins. While science ends, philosophy begins. They may ask the question. I'll be discussing all these topics gradually. First, come to the most important topic of discussion, having vital international importance, that is fundamentalism. They may ask a question, what is fundamentalism? How fundamentalism is different from communalism? What are the similarities and differences between communalism and fundamentalism? I'm telling you, in our everyday discussion, in our common parlance, most of the people they do think that communalism is same as fundamentalism, fundamentalism is same as communalism. But this is a misconceived belief. Fundamentalism is not same as communalism. There is a huge difference sometimes also. So may it be communalism, may it be fundamentalism, all these topics are related with religion. So first I'm telling you what is religion, then I would discuss uh, what is fundamentalism related to religion, what is communalism related to religion. So first, what is religion? Actually, religion is a set of ideas, set of beliefs, set of practices related to God or to some supernatural entity or to some moral force or factors or an anonymous, impersonal, mysterious power. I'm just giving you a formal definition. Religion is a set of ideas, set of beliefs, set of practices related to God or some supernatural entity or some moral factor and force or an anonymous, impersonal, mysterious power. That is religion. Religion constitutes basically a set of ideas. Nobody has seen God, but most of the people across the globe, they believe in God. So it's a belief system. Nobody has seen. It's not. Religion is not based upon observation. It's based upon belief system. Once Swami Vivekananda was asked a question related to religion, that is, what is religion? Swami Vivekananda replied that religion is a device, it's a mechanism which brings a human, which brings a beast, which brings a beast to the stage of human being, and human being to the stage of God. I'm telling you, religion, Swami Vivekananda's view on religion, religion is a device which brings a beast to the stage of human being, a human being to the stage of God. That means this statement of Swami Vivekananda reflects and radiates the idea that religion is primarily concerned for and connected with bringing moral upgradation. Religion is concerned with moral upgradation, Swamiji replied. So, in this way, I'm telling you, belief constitutes the foundation of religion. If you believe in God, God is there. If you don't believe, God is not there. And at this point of time, I'm making the things very clear that religion is not always related with God, because you would find some religions where there is no concept of God, like original Buddhism, original Jainism in India, Confucianism in China. These are the religions which did not believe in God. Though right now Buddhism is divided into two groups, Jainism is also divided into two groups. So in this way, foundation of religion is belief system, not observation system. Right now, come to fundamentalism. What is fundamentalism? Make a derivation. So You might have taken notes of the topics that I am planning to discuss in this class. So I'm erasing the things and I am writing some other things here on the board. What is fundamentalism? I'm just making a derivation. Fundamental plus ism is called fundamentalism. I have discussed it earlier. Ism means philosophy or approach. Ism means philosophy or approach. Fundamental means basics or basic principles. Philosophy means approach. Ism means approach or philosophy. So the philosophy of considering the basic principle of a particular religion is called fundamentalism. I am telling you, in today's context, fundamentalism is used in a negative sense. But originally, fundamentalism was not having any negative meaning or negative connotation. Fundamentalism was not having. So I'm telling you, every religion has certain basic principles, certain basic philosophy, certain basic ideas. So fundamentalism, I'm telling you, fundamental plus ism, that is called fundamentalism. Fundamentalism refers to a very, very aggressive ideology related to God, related to religion. Fundamentalism is related with an aggressive ideology related to God or related to religion, which promotes the idea that what has been said by the God in a particular religion or what has been written in the scripture, a religious text is called scripture. What has been written in the scripture of a particular religion, that should be strictly followed. That should be strictly followed. That should be strictly followed without application of mind, logical approach. I'm telling you, fundamentalism promotes the idea that once upon a time, God was living on the surface of the earth, or God's messenger or God's son was living here on the surface of the earth, who propounded a particular religion. So, what has been said by God that the propounder of religion has written it there in the scripture. So, what has been written there in scripture, that is the religious text, that should be literally followed without any application of mind, logical approach. Why? Because what God wanted the founder or the son or the messenger of the God to write in the scripture, that the founder of the religion wrote it because God wanted him to write. So what is written in scripture of a particular religion, you should literally follow it without applying your logical bent of mind, scientific bent of mind. So people, those who are promoting this approach to a particular religion, they are called fundamentalists. In traditional society, fundamentalism was having this approach. Okay? In traditional society, fundamentalism was having this approach. So in this way, I'm telling you, fundamentalism promotes a very conservative approach related to religion. It does not allow any debate in matter of religion. It discourages intellectualism, application of intellect and application of logical mind, that is called intellectualism in matter of religion. It promotes the idea just to follow and practice religion literally the way things have been prescribed there in the scripture of the religion. I'm telling you, in today's context, fundamentalism is used with a negative sense. Originally, fundamentalism promoted the idea that you adopt the views written in the scripture of your religion. Don't develop a negative view towards other people of other religion. Why? Because fundamentalists in traditional time, they started thinking it is their responsibility to adopt or to practice all those views written there in scripture, and they are not supposed to make any judgment regarding the people of other religion. Originally, fundamentalism and fundamentalist means the people, those who promoted fundamentalism, they believed in it. But with the passage of time, fundamentalism has experienced degradation and degeneration. And in today's context, fundamentalism is swinging between two opposite positions. First is fundamentalism is promoting a very, very extra conservative approach. And in second case, fundamentalism is also promoting religious hatred or intolerance towards the people of other religion. Hatred or intolerance towards the people of other religion. But in tradition ridden days, fundamentalists are a group of people, those who adopted the basic principle of religion without developing any negative feeling towards people of other religion. For example, I can say you, there is a fundamentalist organization, even in 21st century America, USA, its name is Old Order Amish. Old Order Amish. Old Order Amish. That is in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania of USA. These members of this Old Order Amish, they promote fundamentalist approach related to religion. They say, long ago, God was living on the surface of the earth, while or God's agent, God's son, God's messenger was living on the surface of the earth. This is basically a group of people having connection with Christianity, this organization, but they believe in original Christianity. They think while Jesus Christ was born on the surface of the earth, at that point of time there was no industry. Obviously, people, they were having agricultural occupation. So right now the members of this organization, they also prefer to live in the agricultural field just the way the peasants were living. And during Jesus Christ's time, mobile phone was not developed, computer, laptop was not invented, social media was not existing. So even today also, the members of this fundamentalist organization, that is Old Order Amish, they don't use electricity, they don't use automobile, they don't use social media, they don't use computer and laptop, because they think development of technology brings a religious degradation. That's the reason they are keeping themselves away from advanced technology. But at the same time, they are not developing any negative feeling towards people of other religion. This is one example of fundamentalism. But I told you, in today's context, fundamentalism is used in most of the cases with a negative meaning. That is a feeling of animosity, bestiality, hostility, antagonism towards the people of other religion. So are you getting my point? So in this way, a fundamentalist is a true believer of God. He is a true believer of religion. And he thinks that every sphere of religion is included, every sphere of society, it should be connected with religion. And basically, a fundamentalist, but pursue the experience of God's presence in society. That is fundamentalism. Apart from that, a fundamentalist promotes the idea of literally accepting the things or the principles that has been written in the scripture without applying any mind. So fundamentalism opposes all sorts of intellectual activities related to religion. This is the meaning of fundamentalism. So then come to communalism. What is communalism? Communalism is an aggressive political ideology which is promoting political consciousness of the people on the basis of religious identity. I'm repeating, communalism is an aggressive political ideology which is trying to promote political consciousness among the people on the basis of religious identity. So you see, fundamentalism is an aggressive religious ideology, but communalism is an aggressive political ideology which has been erected upon the foundation of religion, which is trying to develop political, but which is trying to mobilize the people into the sphere of politics on the basis of religion. That is called communalism. That is called communalism. So, communalism, I am telling you, communalism is not all about religion, but fundamentalism is all about religion. But communalism is related to politics. So, fundamentalist is interested in God. He is a true believer of God. But a communalist may or may not be a believer of God. But he is mobilizing the people and trying to develop political consciousness among the people on the basis of religious identity or religious consciousness. So in this sense, I am telling you, a fundamentalist is a true believer of God, but a communalist may or may not be a believer of God. But a communalist is trying to bring unity among the members of his religion. In this sense, I can say a communalist may think, in a communalist leader in our country may think, okay, the Hindu people of Hyderabad are not sharing anything common with Muslim people of Hyderabad or Christian people of Hyderabad. Rather, Hindu people of Hyderabad are sharing lots of common things with the Hindu people of other parts of our country. Exactly in that way, a communalist Muslim leader would promote the idea that the Muslim people of Hyderabad has nothing common with non-Muslim people of Hyderabad. Rather, they have lots of things common with the Muslim people of Delhi, Bombay, Madras, Calcutta, and etc. other parts of the country, because he's trying to bring political consciousness. In this way, I'm saying you the basic difference between communalism and fundamentalism. Communalism and fundamentalism. First thing, communalism is all about politics, fundamentalism is all about religion. Second point of difference, a fundamentalist is a true believer of God and religion, and he promotes the idea that the scripture of the religion should be literally understood without any intellectual application of intellect. So he is a true believer of God and religion. On the other hand, a communalist may or may not be a true believer of God. But while communalist comes to the public domain, to the public sphere, he makes a discussion with religion to God and religion. But in his private life, he may not be a true believer of God. Third point of difference, I am telling you, a fundamentalist practices the things that he preaches, and he preaches those things that he practices at home. I'm telling you, a fundamentalist leader preaches the things that he practices in his private life, and he practices those things that he preaches also in public place. So what he practices, he preaches, and what he preaches, that he practices. Preach and practice, you know. Preach and practice. So a fundamentalist leader practices the things that he preaches and preaches the things that he practices. But a communalist simply says something that in most of the cases related to religion he does not practice. Next point of difference, I'm telling you that next point of difference that I'm telling you, fundamentalist is a true believer of God. That's the reason in today's context, while fundamentalism has taken negative meaning, negative connotation, I am telling you, in today's context, a fundamentalist thinks that people of other religion, they are his enemy, they are the enemies outside of the religion. And at the same time, a fundamentalist thinks within the religion there are some enemies. A fundamentalist think how? Because within religion there are some progressive minded people having logical scientific approach. They don't follow the things that has been written in the scripture literally. So these progressive minded people within the religion, those who are promoting scientific bent of mind, those who are having logical approach with respect to religion, they are they are doing something which is blasphemous. Blasphemous means, but profane means certain irreligious things they are doing. So people within the religion, those who are not literally accepting the religion, rather applying scientific approach for understanding and understanding and practicing the religious point of view, they are the enemies within the religion. So in this way, a fundamentalist sees enemies within the religion as well as outside of the religion. But a communalist, he's truly interested in politics. That's the reason he forget the internal difference within the religion. He's, suppose you say Muslim fundamentalist, a Muslim communalist leader, a Hindu communalist leader. First of all, this Hindu, Muslim, Christian communalist leader, they are having vested interest in religion. That is political interest. So they think they will come to power by mobilizing the people of their religion if all the internal difference within the religion is vanished. Internal difference within their own religion is vanished. For example, a communalist Hindu leader sees all the Hindus are same. There is no difference between poor Hindus and rich Hindus. There is no difference between but Brahmins and Dalit within the Hinduism. There is no difference between but the Telugu Brahmins, Telugu Hindus and Tamil Hindus. So all sorts of internal difference for the communalist leader is vanished within his religion. Same thing also with respect to Muslim communalist leader and Christian communalist leader. Why? Because if internal division, internal difference within the same religion is vanished, then the communalist politician will be able to come to power, because if people of a particular religion get united, that will give greater opportunity for the communalist leader of that community, religious community, to come to power. In this way, a communalist leader does not see any internal difference within his religion. While a fundamentalist leader or fundamentalist himself sees internal difference within the religion, he sees enemies within the religion, and at the same time, he sees enemies outside of the religion. In this way, I'm telling you, a communalist is unifying the people of his own religion, and a fundamentalist is constantly dividing the people of his own religion. I'm not telling you the fact that a communalist leader is doing good thing and a fundamentalist leader is doing bad thing. Both of them are doing bad things. I'm making the things very clear. Why? Communalist leader is interested for politics. That's the reason he's trying to bring unity. Once people are united in his religion, his possibility of coming to power is higher. And I'm telling you the next point of difference. Next point of difference is that a communalist leader gives importance upon the past society. A fundamentalist leader also gives importance upon the past society. But there is a difference. Why? Because a communalist, a fundamentalist leader, or a fundamentalist himself gives importance upon past in a practical sense. He thinks while God was living on the surface of the earth, while God's son or messenger like Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, they were living on the surface of the earth, that was the best period of social life. With the passage of time, religious values started degrading and degenerating. So past is best, present is but degraded, and future is bleak, dark, filled with darkness. That a fundamentalist leader thinks like this. That's the reason he always gives emphasis upon the past of the society, glorified past of the society. But communalist also gives importance upon the past, but in an ideological sense. Why? For example, I am telling you, there are so many communal parties. With due respect to all political parties, I am telling you, take for example BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, which is having a communal agenda. So what is happening? The leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party, they say they also give importance upon the Indian tradition, Indian great god of Hinduism, Lord Ram, and they are putting a demand for construction of Ram Janma Bhumi, temple at Ram Janma Bhumi. But they give importance upon the past, that is Ram, in an ideological sense. But practically, they are more concerned for the future because simply by taking the name of the Ram, they will be able to come to power in future. Come to power in future. So truly, a communalist leader is more concerned for future, though he is giving importance upon the past only in an ideological sense. But a fundamentalist practically gives importance upon the past. These are the differences between communalism and fundamentalism. Right now, come to the similarity between the two concepts. Though there are two different concepts, so there is lots of similarities between the two concepts. What are the similarities? First point of similarity between fundamentalism and communalism is that fundamentalist and communalist, both of them give importance upon religion. Second point of difference, both fundamental, second point of similarity. I'm discussing similarity right now. Fundamentalist and communalist, both of them give importance upon religion. Second point of similarity, that both of them give importance upon society, past society. Third point, both of them are against secularism. So these are the similarities between fundamentalism and communalism, and also the differences between communalism and fundamentalism. So you might have got a proper idea to make a distinction between communalism and fundamentalism. So right now come to the third topic. Third topic is secularism. Secularism So, what do we mean by secularism? Listen, secularism refers to an idea or philosophy which says that all religions of a country should be treated equally. I'm telling you, secularism promotes the idea that all the religion of a country should be treated equally. So I'm telling you, treating all religious communities in terms of equality is called secularism. Treating all religious communities in terms of equality is called secularism. How did secularism origin and how secularism of Western society is different from secularism concept of Indian society? You know the fact that once upon a time in Europe, a religion was having tremendous impact upon the people, particularly in ancient period, in medieval period of European society. Religion had a strong impact upon the public life, upon the mind of the people. And particularly in 15th century, in 14th century, in 16th century, and 17th century Europe also. So starting from 14th century to 17th century Europe, obviously there was the religious organization of Christianity, that is the church. And there was also political organization like state at that point of time in Europe in 16th and 17th century. There was not existing democratic state, there was existing your monarchical state. Monarchical state means king was the head of the state, and a king's position was a hereditary position. Somebody's father was king, then the son became the king, then the grandson became the king. This is called monarchical state. So state in Europe was monarchical, king was the head of the state, and there was the religious organization that is church. And church was a very strong and financially very much but strong institution. Apart from that, from time to time church was interfering in matter of politics. Church was giving giving suggestion to the state, to the king, state headed by king, what to do and what not to do, because it's a religious organization. And the church was financially very stronger. Why? Because churches in Europe, they were having ownership of large amount of agricultural land. So in this way, financially they were stronger. Once they were financially stronger, that's the reason they interfered in the politics of the state, that is the monarchical state. Because of it, a conflict of interest emerged between church and the state, religious organization versus political organization. So states, that is the kings heading the state, they wanted to reduce the influence of church. So the year is 1648 AD. The year is 1648 AD. 1648 AD. This is an important year in Europe because on this year, the property of the church, property of the church was taken over by the state. So monarchical state started thinking, because of the possession of large amount of property in the hand of the state, hand of the church is becoming influential and influencing the decision making process of the state. So how to make the state church, how to make the church weak? So state basically took away the property of the church. In this way, church was financially weaker. Because church was made financially weaker, right now the church ability of interfering in state administration started diminishing or reducing. And this is the beginning of secularization. I'm telling you, while we discuss the Western approach of secularism, to our mind comes the concept how there was existing a conflict of interest between the political organization, that is the state, and the religious organization, that is the church. So because of the conflict between state and religion, or politics and religion, concept of secularism developed. Therefore, I am telling you, Western concept of secularism promotes the idea that there will be no role of religion in the matter of state or in the matter of state administration and governance. So state and church, state and religion, there are two opposite poles. They were fighting. Because of the fighting between church and state, that is religion versus political organization, politics, concept of secularism developed there in European society. Are you getting my point? On the other hand, I am telling you, in India, there was never ever existing a time while a religious organization like, a Hinduism and Hindu's religious organization, that is temple, there was never ever existing a time in India while any temple was influencing but the Indian monarchical state. So here, that type of conflict of interest was not the way it was there between the church and state in European society. So here in Indian context, meaning of secularism is different from the Western approach or concept of secularism. So I'm telling you, the fact that while the national freedom struggle was at the peak, at that point of time, Gandhi was having a very prominent and prolific position in Indian politics, Indian National Congress. While Gandhi was leading the Indian National Congress during the freedom struggle period, Gandhi gave an interpretation of secularism. Gandhi's approach of secularism, that is called Indian approach of secularism, that is called Ram Rahim's approach of secularism. Ram Rahim's approach of secularism, Gandhian approach, that is called Ram Rahim approach of secularism. Ram is a Hindu, Rahim is a Muslim. The state of India would treat Ram on par, at par with Rahim. Ram is a Hindu, Rahim is a Muslim. The state of India will treat Ram, that is Hindu, on par or at par with Rahim, that is a Muslim. That is called secularism. So I am telling you, treating all religious communities in terms of equality is called secularism. Treating all religious communities in terms of equality treating all religious communities in terms of equality is called secularism. That is in Hindi also called sarva dharma, sarva, dharma, sama, bhava. Treating all religious communities in terms of equality or sarva dharma, sama bhava is called secularism in India. So in this way, there is a difference between Indian approach of secularism and Western approach of secularism. I am repeating the things that I discussed related to secularism. In Western society, secularism developed because of the conflict of interest between the religious organization, that is the church, and the political organization, that is the state. So in Indian society, in Western society, by secularism, we think in matter of state administration, there would be no role of religion, or state will not give any importance to religion. So religion and state, there are two opposite poles. That is Western approach of secularism. Because religion, in Western society, state basically reduce the importance of religion simply by taking over the property of the church. On the other hand, in Indian context, secularism is not referring the idea of conflict of interest between religion and state. Rather, Indian model of secularism promotes the idea that the state of India would treat all religious communities in terms of equality. State of India would treat all religious communities in terms of equality. So state is not playing a negative role in matter of religion the way it is in Western society. Rather, state would treat all religions at par, on par with each other. That is also Gandhian approach of secularism, Ram Rahim's approach of secularism. This is called sarva dharma samabhava. Okay, apart from that, I am telling you, Constitution of India has adopted two different models of secularism in India. Constitution of India has adopted two different models of secularism. Constitution of India has adopted two models of secularism. What are the two models? First model is Non-discrimination model. Second is interventionist. Interventionist model. What is non-discrimination model? That is, state of India will not make any discrimination in favor of a person or against a person on the basis of religious identity. That is called non-discrimination model. This non-discrimination model is also called Sarvadharma Samanbhava. Non-discrimination. State of India will not make any discrimination either in favor of a particular person or against a particular person on the basis of religious identity. That means state would treat all persons of different religious ideology, background on par or at par. Its example is Article 15, Clause 1 of Indian Constitution. It says there shall not be any discrimination. There shall not be any discrimination on the basis of religion. So this is called non-discrimination model. The other model is interventionist model. Intervention means interfere. Sometimes the state of India can interfere in matter of religion. Generally, state does not interfere in matter of religion. But whenever the state of India would see that in the name of religion in a particular religious group or community, certain irrational, certain unscientific practices are practiced. In that case, the state of India will interfere into the religious practice of that religious group or community, keeping in mind a noble intention. What is that noble intention? How to eradicate the irrational practices prevailing in that religious group or in that religious community. For example, child marriage was prevailing in among the Hindus. Devdasi system or temple prostitution was also prevailing among the Hindu people. Pre-puberty marriage, before getting biological maturity, a girl was given marriage to somebody. This is called pre-puberty marriage. That was also prevailing among the Hindus. Polygyny. Poly means many, gyne means wives. So a Hindu man was having more than one wife. That polygyny was also there among the Hindus. Sati system was there long before. So right now what happened? Keeping in mind how to reduce polygyny, how to stop polygyny, how to stop child marriage, how to stop sati system. Obviously, the state of India, the government of India interfered into the religious practice of Hindu society with a noble intention. How to reform it? This is called interventionist model. So these are the two models given by constitution with respect to secularism in our country. I'm telling you, secularism refers to a tendency or approach by which all the religious communities in our country would be treated equally on par or at par in our society. And these are the two different models of secularism. And because of two different models of secularism that Constitution of India has promoted, because of it, sometimes also what has observed, that we have observed the fact that certain challenges has been created to the secular credentials of our country. I'm telling you, in general, India is a secular state, but after the 42nd Amendment of Indian Constitution, obviously in 42nd Amendment itself, the word secularism was incorporated into the preamble of Indian Constitution. Apart from that, what is happening? We are having certain fundamental rights, a right to religion, right to preach, practice and profess the religion of one's choice. That is a fundamental right. So while all these things are considered, we can say that secularism has been guaranteed by Indian Constitution. So India is a secular state. They do ask a question, what do you mean by secularism? I discussed secularism means treating all religious communities in terms of equality. Then they do put a question. Do you think that India is a secular country in letter and in spirit. So, India is a secular country in letter and spirit. Then they ask a question, what are the challenges to the secular credential of our country? In this way, now I gave you the idea what is secularism and what are the different models, Western model and Indian model of secularism. And I also discussed the two different models of secularism that has been discussed in context of constitution, and the challenges of secularism I will be discussing after the break. So let's have a break. So after the break, I will be discussing challenges to secularism, science, religion, and other topics related to this. Okay, thank you a lot for watching this program. Let's have a break.